Welcome back, everybody. We are in North America now for, I think, an anticipated matchup between Flashpoint and Shoot to Kill. Kresnik joins me now to talk about this one. And Kres, I think these are two of the top teams in this region. The question is, who's finally going to stop Triple Deeps? Flashpoint, I think they've got a good shot.
Yeah, I would agree. Even after that,
Triple Deeps, Shoot to Kill.
You mean at Shoot to Kill, the long team Twitter name? The underdogs turned wolves?
They've only dropped one map.
They have, across the entire thing, but they haven't played against either of the teams that we've been kind of throwing back and forth as the top two in the region. Team Project and Flashpoint both have not faced them, and this is going to be kind of their first, I guess, hurdle in that sense, and how poetic for it to be the moment they start representing an organization.
And of course, Flashpoint, doesupz, Invocal, randomnoob, and RuBBu names everyone should recognize. Shoot to Kill, a roster made up of WaduKekington, ballersteve, rKuhl, Ghogert, and Poison. So I think this one could be a big one, but you look at the one loss that Flashpoint has had, and that's up against Team Project, of course, who hasn't lost here yet. So Flashpoint have gotten kind of the big one out of the way last week. So similar, I think, to Brazil, and what we just saw from Carnage is, how good are you really? I mean, we've had so many conversations about this Flashpoint team and how they should be 1 or 2 in this region. Now they've gotten a team in Shoot to Kill that hasn't lost, so I think it's a prove-it game for both teams.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the last time they met up back in week 1 of the qualifiers, I believe it was a very, very strong performance by Flashpoint. So they're hoping to repeat that going in, but things have changed, I think, quite a bit from then, at least in terms of meta. Things have really been swapped up in the draft in general. Shoot to Kill have kind of set up their own style, where we know they're pulling out the Moji. They were the first team to start experimenting a little bit with IO. If they're willing to pick those champions in situations where they're going to be good over Flashpoint, I think they can be a little more flexible in the draft.
I'm curious. Shoot to Kill, picked up by an org, so their name is no longer Triple Deeps. I wonder if they stick with the Triple Deeps mindset, though. And for the moment, they've already prioritized 2 of the best ones here on Stonekeep, where we'll head for game number 1. And the answer is yes, they at least are going to have 3 DPSs on their team this game. Bomb King, Viktor, Vivian. Normally you get one or the other of those final 2. Shoot to Kill are going to have plenty of damage on their side.
All this has proven is that they did not get picked up by an org purely to drop the shackles of the name that they had stuck themselves with this whole time. But I think it's great. I think it's great for this map, honestly. Having both those backlines, you can cover the banana angle, you can have someone sitting inside of the keep, plus the PK. A lot of pressure there. But so that Terminus on the other side into the Bomb King, that's a tough matchup for BK. Terminus just completely shuts down all the blaster damage that he wants to do, walking straight across. I think Term is definitely a good look for them, but I think the overwhelming damage means that if Flashpoint can't execute before that Siphon runs out, Shoot to Kill will just delete him. There's just nothing he can do to survive after that.
Yep. I am nervous, though. If you're Shoot to Kill, you've given Strix over to Invocal, one of the best to do it, and we saw plenty of that last week in their matchup up against Team Project. Remember, the last week they won a couple straight and then ended up losing 3 straight to drop to Team Project. So that one was about as close as you could have gotten. But looking at these 2 drafts now, Shoot to Kill, Flashpoint, who do you like here for Stonekeep?
I think it's hard to fight against Shoot to Kill's draft. I mean, those are some of the best DPSs in the game, backed by an underrated support, I think. Barik maybe fallen off a little bit, but he has that deployable shield, which should be able to withstand the onslaught from that Cassie and that Strix.
I think, though, I agree. I think on the flip side, I think Invocal on presumably the Strix and randomnoob on that Cassie, they've got a massive role to play. So much damage for them to be able to do. I like your point, though, about that Terminus. Him against that Bomb King is going to be a fun one to watch as we move in to Stonekeep for game number 1. A team at the top in Shoot to Kill and a team looking to rejoin the top in Flashpoint. They will clash here in game number 1. And an IO, a healer that we've seen sort of in and out specific situations. What do you make of her getting picked up?
It's going to be solid if they want to play inside the keep. I think if they want to play that high ground and be kind of isolated, it's going to be so tough for them to turn and contest against the IO. So I think solid there, but you can see both teams kind of stacking up in here, and that Siphon's being put to good use.
RuBBu, he's looked for the commander's grab, came up just short, but a beautiful Siphon blocked off some damage. Not enough, though, as Poison with some well-placed bombs has turned it around for the double kill. randomnoob, doesupz, Vex all face the onslaught of poison on this BK. Shoot to kill. They take the keep fight, and they take the point with 57%.
In case anybody forgot, Poison was in the PPL. He looked pretty damn good doing it too back then when he was on the Renegades roster, but now on Shoot to Kill, the only PC DPS on the team and just tearing through. They're all stacking up in fire against a Bomb King without Terminus. The whole point of this term is to counter this Bomb King. When you don't have him, you are just going to get torn to pieces. And you could already see that now. Poison getting very aggressive, taking that high ground, but losing the tank on the side of Shoot to Kill. It's going to force him to back up.
Finally a kill on the board for Flashpoint. They had not had anything going through the first 2 minutes of this game, and it's Invocal from the back line, but a double kill from Poison keeps things rolling here. This man is unstoppable on this Bomb King. A 7 streak for him, a 7 streak for Ghogert as well. Can't ignore it. The names showing up are Poison, but Ghogert has supplied plenty of damage himself.
And I like this positioning up here. I like how they run this Vivian kind of as the pseudo tank. I'm sure that the build isn't built super tanky, but it's enough to have that little bit of shield to keep them alive up top, keep the pressure on, help Poison out by not getting too pushed back. And this is one of the hardest matchups for this con. RuBBu's amazing, but Bomb King con Vivian, yeah, he goes down. He can't do it. He goes over the shield, the damage into the shield. That's such a rough matchup. They might have to flip and force this con to contest the cart.
Poison came to play, and he's kept it going. Quick pause before we see the conclusion of this push. Invocal, I think, has really been the only offensive presence that Flashpoint has had. And I mean, maybe not unexpected. It's been a Strix far in the back line on a stone keep defense where you expect him to be. But that is all Flashpoint have had going for him.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's just because of the aggression from Shoot to Kill that is making it that he's the only thing they can do. They're pushing straight into the angle. They're trading off when they do push into this Strix, but because of them all moving forward, Invocal can't kill everyone. I know it seems like it sometimes, but Invocal cannot 1v5 and kill everybody on the other team. Right. And that's what they're playing off of. They're just walking straight at them. We can't all die at once. As long as we keep getting positive trades, which we will because of our damage dealers, we're always going to end up on the better foot.
I'm intrigued, though. I mean, there's still about 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the back end of this pause. They've gotten very close. Shoot to Kill. Finally, Random Noob is able to shut down that Vivian, so that's a breath of fresh air, I think, if you're Flashpoint here on this defense. But how much can you take? A little bit more with rKuhl falling as well. So this is a good defensive start, at least, for Flashpoint.
And it depends on how aggressive they want to be, but they're not going to be able to get too far. They just can't break through that space with the Bomb King up there controlling it. If they can manage to get one pick, I think they can swarm and make this work. We'll see how far WaDu wants to push this. He can't go too far against Strix and Cassie. He could really only play off his shield. Once this is down, he's probably going to have to disengage unless they can find a pick off of that shield existing in main.
A dome shield on the horizon as well. He's at 91%. RuBBu low, back behind the payload, and rKuhl is going to make good on that one. He's able to turn the corner, finish off Vex as well. Ghogert has put Invocal in the dirt. Flashpoint and A swept off the map, and up 2-0 goes Shoot to Kill.
Once they get close, it gets so much harder for Flashpoint to contest the objective. If WaDu can get the cart close enough where he can just hug that close wall, everybody has to push out directly into the sight lines of this Vivian Viktor. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. There's a reason they started so early. Backlines on Stone Keep have always been incredibly effective. You can tell the backlines on Flashpoint are the only ones doing anything. The tanks on Flashpoint just can't cross the space to get into all the damage that Shoot to Kill have.
If you're Flashpoint, though, a disastrous mid-fight to start off this game and start off this set, are you changing your strategy moving into this one?
I think you have to play outside. You can't fight upper keep into the Bomb King. If you can get on top of one of the backlines early, I think that's the play. Just mount straight into the backline, catch out Vivian or Viktor, then you can start to mount the offensive. And you can see they're already kind of split. They're not fighting it as much, but look at this positioning up top. Now Luna on the objective while they have dominant positioning. Shoot to Kill's in a great spot.
Yeah, Shoot to Kill. I mean, you're not going to aggress on them, and if you're Flashpoint, you hope to be able to return damage freely, but Shoot to Kill can do that as well. Poison has not been killed yet this game. 6 kills, 5 assists. In this mid-fight, he'll look to replicate some of that. Barrage starts off, though, for Shoot to Kill, maybe plugs away a little bit of damage. Random Noob finds the opening kill onto WaduKekington, so that's the only tank on Shoot to Kill that goes down. doesupz leaps his way in, but only finds death. The reanimate will give him a second chance, though. Poison shut down into the King Bomb. doesupz finds the shots. Ghogert answers back with one of his own, though. This is a tense back-and-forth fight, but it seems like Flashpoint have the advantage.
They ignored Ghogert. He was sitting in the banana behind them because of that flank, and it flipped the Terminus, forced them to use the Resurrect. With Dome Shield on point, that's not going to be as much. They don't have that retake potential. It's kind of all up to Invocal, I think, to keep this space open. Everyone on Shoot to Kill smartly disengaging to get ready for a refight. Because of that early contest from Luna and from WaduKekington, they have a chance to make this fight happen again.
I think that was a good overpower by RuBBu as well. Random Noob has to dodge roll backwards because Poison rolling through. The King Bomb charge was not used previously before he died, so he gets the kill onto Vex here. 78% for Shoot to Kill, 85% for Flashpoint, 90% will be reached. Ghogert finds a nice double kill on a Random Noob Invocal. doesupz goes down, no reanimate. This time another clean sweep. And you're looking at a 3-0 for Shoot to Kill.
I wish I could tell you why Flashpoint were positioned the way that they were. doesupz was on the top of the keep, and Random was capping. I have no clue why.
That's not right.
I don't think there's a reason for that. I mean, Random got poked out, had to back up immediately, and rKuhl just shreds with the barrage. He'd even conserve this last charge if he wants to. Luckily for Flashpoint, the card has plenty of time to go, but this is not a nightmare right now for Flashpoint.
Krez, I don't know. This one, you might just need to sweep under the rug and try again in game number 2. You are 7 minutes into Stone Keep. Don't have a single point on the board yet if you're Flashpoint. You're right, though. There is 1 minute and 45 seconds left, so not all is lost. We've seen Flashpoint turn around some of these from behind wins. A little bit lower on the ground this time. Shoot to Kill found so much success putting that Bomb King and Vivian up on the high ground. Won't replicate that just for the moment, but may be able to rotate around back to that staircase. Be gone used, but Random Noob finds a lockdown Poison, so first kill in this fight goes to Flashpoint instead, though another couple of kills for Shoot to Kill start to roll right on through. Ghogert hitting 4 of them. Flashpoint one more time get wiped. That's the 4-0. Shoot to Kill come out swinging. And Flashpoint don't get a single point.
What? Just happened. That pressure at the last
just
second
as we planned,
from
right?
Flashpoint. Yeah, exactly. Just as they intended. Wow. That pressure down main, they walked through. I think they just wanted to buy more time in the cart, but it was just too close. It was just too close for him to make a play like that. I think doesupz was struggling significantly on the turn with positioning there in the end. He started off, couldn't even really counter Poison when they were 1v1, and in that last fight, he was just getting poked by rKuhl from long range, but never hit. He just kept standing in the open with his Siphon, praying that that was going to be enough for his team to make something happen, but it kept forcing Vex to turn and heal him. With no heals on the other side, RuBBu can't push. I think Doe just monopolized all the resources on their team, and it made them lose the flank fight.
Yeah, that is tough, though, and I still maybe now just, in a weird way, maybe it's better, though, that just rolls in. If you're Flashpoint, I think you just need a mental reset after game number 1, and I think Invocal, through the first couple of rounds of that game, was able to plug away really most of the offense from Flashpoint. Random Noob starting to come into it there towards the end. But I think that's the most surprising thing to me, the fact that Invocal on a Strix had this tough a time.
It was just because the tanks couldn't make anything happen, really. They picked 2 tanks that turn would be great for the stall out, but with the Khan picked up with it against that composition that they had.
Right.
I mean, what is he reasonably going to do? He can't push that far. No space was made. That's why only the backline seemed like they had any life in them, because the tanks, all right, we have to push, we have to make space. This is what tanks do in this moment. And then they were just dead immediately. And all the DPS could do was chip away at the rest of Shoot to Kill that were trying to re-push afterwards.
And it really, most of the offensive presence from Invocal was just back in their base when the payload was inches away from rolling in. But what a deadly combination that Shoot to Kill had there. I mean, a Viktor on one hand, a Vivian on the other, and then a Bomb King, especially when they're firing on all cylinders. I mean, that's the type of damage composition I think. You can deal with it if one of them isn't playing out of their minds, but if all 3 of them are, that'll do it to you in a quadra kill to round this one out. I don't know, man. That one might have just been lost from the start.
I gotta say, watching that quadra kill back was actually kind of funny because rKuhl did a lot of the damage, so it's just kind of Ghogert like doing 1 360 as everybody just dies around him like some Kill Bill action scene during the very end. Still, he was where he needed to be. They had the crossfire. But on both sides of the choke point, they try to go through. You can't shield a Viktor one side and live through a Vivian on the other. So it was still, I think, perfectly executed there at the end by Shoot to Kill. And Flashpoint, they need to draft something more aggressive if they want to be able to burst through this triple DPS just firing line that Shoot to Kill are bringing.
I think that a total redraft, maybe. I mean, maybe in any other circumstance, what Flashpoint had would have worked. It's a specific composition on Stone Keep that just kind of turned around onto them. If you're Flashpoint now, though, I'm curious where we go. Serpent Beach is where we will head. And I still am curious, though. I mean, what do you kind of have to draft? What's a good way to maybe counter out these triple DPS compositions that Shoot to Kill is... I mean, let's be honest, that's what they're going to play until I see differently. I mean, there's got to be a slight edge, I think, in Flashpoint in knowing what you're going to play against, no?
Yeah, the problem is you can't ban out everything that console players can play.
That's true.
You cannot ban out every single hit scan. There's Viktor, Vivian, Kinessa, Tyra, Strix, Androxus, Buck, Talus. There's just too much. You can't ban it all out, so you have to ban what you think is enabling it more. Maybe you try to focus on a support ban. If you get rid of that IO, maybe you can force them to have to play that Moji to have more of a tanky presence. Yeah. But they do want to target the DPS instead. Vivian, I think, does bring a little bit more to the table than some of the other hit scan characters. This way, they're going to have to play that Strix, and it's a little bit more pressure, I would say, onto the hit scan backlines from Shoot to Kill, because those are definitely, I'd say, Viktor and Vivian are the easiest to play for the throughput that they give you on the console.
Yep. It's going to be Androxus locked in here from Flashpoint. As you point out, though, Vivian, Viktor both taken off the board. Khan is where Shoot to Kill will go with first pick overall. Surprised to see Khan that highly prioritized?
Especially on Serpent Beach, I would say. I mean, he hates vertical differences, and this map is literally making him feel very, very small as everybody can splash over his shield. But getting rid of the Bomb King, taking that away from Flashpoint, is big, not just because of Random's Bomb King, which we know is fantastic, but we just saw how good Bomb King is into Khan. If you're going to be potentially playing solo tank Khan, there's no other choice. You have to get that Bomb King.
Yep, I agree. And I think Flashpoint, they're going to feel confident, at least in two of the picks they had on Stone Keep. That was sort of maybe what I was hinting at. Like, in any other circumstance, the Flashpoint draft works. So they're at least going to try the Strix over again, the Furia as well. Not quite the same, but maybe you could draw some similarities to an Androxus and a Cassie, but they're starting to get real thin there. A Ruckus, though, locked in here. I mean, RuBBu, one of his best champions. I expect big things.
Yeah, I would agree. Ruckus is also fantastic on this map, and good into triple DPS, I think, if you can find an isolated target. But with Shoot to Kill playing this comp that they are, I don't think they're going to be too split. The only person who might be apart from the team is going to be Buck, and if you're diving a Buck as a Ruckus, you've probably already lost. He's just going to recover in front of you. He's going to jump away. You don't really have a lot of other options. The Shoot to Kill draft, bringing in this pseudo off tank on the role that I'm assuming Gogert's going to play, double sustain. I think it's solid, but Flashpoint have one of the best standard drafts I think I would want on a map like Serpent Beach.
Yep, I agree. And I sort of mentioned with Shoot to Kill, until you pick otherwise, you pick 3 DPSs. I guess I could still say, especially if that's focusing lens Ying, that they probably still have 3 DPSs on their side. Serpent Beach looking like it's about to kick off, and it will. Flashpoint need to swing back here. They go down 0-4 on Stone Keep, so this is another great opportunity for Shoot to Kill to just extend this lead, keep momentum on your side. And, I expect big things out of RuBBu on that Ruckus, but I think Ghogert, specifically because he's playing this Buck, and we've seen how impactful a Buck can be on this map, I think that Buck needs to have a big game.
Yeah, I would agree. He needs to definitely make a lot of room. Having that off-tank flanker, it's tough, but I think Ghogert has kind of been playing it excellently so far. I want to point out something in chat. Someone mentioned about Maeve potentially being picked over Buck, because you see a lot of over Andy, because you see a lot of console players banning that champion because of struggle against it. I think the Andy pick was because Androxus is fantastic, has the long range, but you also take it away from Shoot to Kill on the other side.
Well, first blood goes to doesupz, but second blood over to Poison, and it's the fight after the fight that really matters here, and it's Shoot to Kill who have found themselves the high ground. Luna doing a great job of mitigating some point presence here, so Shoot to Kill benefiting from that. doesupz locked down. That Void Grip, it's so impactful, that big stun. So Shoot to Kill have gotten themselves a pretty good advantage here to start off. Immediately traded out, though, is Ghogert. So it's 39% where Shoot to Kill will stall out. Flashpoint trying to make their way back in.
And with WaduKekington on the point, normally the height disadvantage would be a problem, but Shoot to Kill know this, so they're controlling these high grounds on the side. No matter how much ground they get, if it's only doesupz shooting back down at him, he's going to be able to survive for quite a long time on that point.
Shoot to Kill have moved themselves to 78% now. Poison still on an onslaught here in the high ground. That's a big 1v1, and Invocal's able to get out alive, but Poison turns the corner and gets the kill. Cool finishes off Random Noob. This is a great fight from Shoot to Kill, and might just result in point number 1. Another commander's grab locks down doesupz. He was there to try to contest, and suddenly RuBBu, really the last man in range. Shoot to Kill come out swinging and get point number 1.
And Cool also zones up with Focusing Lens and gets 2 more kills, so big opening for them, I think. That's going to be good for getting the cart close, but I don't know if they're going to dive up top quite yet. They have a few ways to get up there, and they should. They need to make a little bit of room. The bounce house trying to make some space on the right, but regular recovery, only having that means you got to run away quick.
Random Noob catches a little bit too much plug damage, and he's going to catch a death here. As Cool has found the high ground, RuBBu turns around some damage with the Hexafire of his own and shuts down a couple members of Shoot to Kill. But you can't ignore this Ying. Ghogert swoops on through. Suddenly there's a Ying up on the high ground, and Invocal forced down and turns around some damage. But a nice double kill from Ghogert maybe keeps this one in the balance. This is a tense fight here, but it's always the defenders maybe in this area that are going to benefit. Poison is going to try to tug that back towards the Shoot to Kill side with the King Bomb. That doesn't find much, but Invocal maybe feeling a little bit awkward here in this carry corner. The gates are open. Kresnik and Shoot to Kill are swarming through.
It was smart by Poison to not overcommit with the speed-boosted King Bomb there. If he had gone in, he probably would have just let them back up and hide. But he stops, holds back, goes for the fight. Invocal dodges well, but he gave himself an option, at least, to turn that around. Still, though, the defender's advantage on Serpent Beach is it's just so strong. Flashpoint managed to maintain this high ground. They have so many ways to break through on the other side, and that overpower, immediately catching down Random, is one. They don't have the potential to dive the backline now.
How much more can you get is obviously the question here for Shoot to Kill, and Invocal is the immediate answer. WaduKekington locked down. Vex, though, is the ultimate form of CC. Death is 10 seconds now on the death timer for Vex. The respawn is through from Random Noob, but doesupz right to try to contest the payload. He goes, and his efforts are fruitless. I'm not sure Random even going to try it. Shoot to Kill. A big overpower opens the door, and the payload rolls right on through.
A big part of that there was them catching them in the carry corner. I'm not sure exactly how Vex ended up there, but I think the amount of verticality on Shoot to Kill was probably what did it. Vex should have backed up towards main, pulled back towards his team, but ended up getting caught, and as the cart turns that last corner, if you die then, if you lose 2 people then, it's almost impossible to hold when they have all that potential backline pressure. Plus the sustain, you're not really going to be able to burst through anybody when you have WaduKekington here with Hope Guard, with RuBBu with 2 healers, Ghogert with DR, I'm assuming, on his jump. Yep. Just too much for them to go through with only 3 players left. And Shoot to Kill, they spent a lot of ultimates earlier, but they're still going to have the Buck Wild and the Illusory Rift going into this.
Those will be close, and the King Bomb, if Poison continues to pour out some good damage, will be up shortly as well. Dome Shield is going to drop down from Flashpoint and Inflame as well. This should be a winning fight for the Flashpoint side, but instead it's Random Noob who has fallen immediately, followed by RuBBu. Both front lines are gone as doesupz drops as well. Vex is just going to try to counter out some of that point capture, but that one's not to be. What a turnaround there in the face of some serious ultimates as Flashpoint find nothing.
Remember when I told you that if Ruckus is diving Buck, the game is pretty much already lost? There you go.
You
Ruckus,
did say that, yes.
Only target he finds is Buck. Buck just claps his hands in front of him, prays that he'll find something else in the next life, and gets sent right there. No space really made. Shoot to Kill get the objective, and Flashpoint have to be so careful to not bleed here, because they're playing this real fast and loose right now.
Well, it's been 7 straight points for Shoot to Kill if you take Stone Keep as well, which they won 4-0. RuBBu is going to maybe help Flashpoint stall out this payload a little bit, and Invocal gets one onto Ghogert as well. So finally a deep breath, but that's just, I think that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Flashpoint. I mean, you have an Inflame, a Dome Shield, you have some great ultimates to start off that fight, and now nothing works out. Now on the flip side, Shoot to Kill, they're starting to get those ultimates back up and might be able to push.
Especially with Doe going down, it means the card's going to not be able to really be stopped unless RuBBu decides to commit a lot harder. And then Ghogert forces out the flashbang, and the Accursed Arm finds nothing on the back.
Krez, this just seems disjointed from Flashpoint right now. Shoot to kill methodically rolling through all 5 members of Flashpoint. Now you've got Ghogert in your backline, getting rid of Invocal. This is tough. They shoot to kill. They have themselves a King Bomb. A Be Gone could be used for some peel right around that payload. Just send them flying, not allow them to contest, and overpowers around as well. It's going to be the King Bomb used first. Around the corner goes Poison, connects, but he does end up falling to doesupz, who's now back. Overpower drops down the Barik. Suddenly Flashpoint only have squishies, and that never bodes well. 8 straight points from Shoot to Kill up against Flashpoint, and they take the lead in this set 2-0.
Such smart focus by them in the end there, too. They know if they just focus down those tanks, use King Bomb on one, use Overpower on the other, there's no one else on that team who can really do anything. Maybe Strix with Stealth, but they rushed so much Illuminate on the side of Shoot to Kill that Invocal wouldn't live for more than a second contesting the objective.
Krez, I can't, I mean, I'm sure you are as well, but there's no way I'm the only one who's surprised. You know, I obviously think Shoot to Kill is a star roster, a team that can make some waves here in NA. But maybe we're relying too much on name basis here. If you're looking at Flashpoint, I was for sure this one at worst would be close. But the last thing I expected was 2 straight 4-0s from Shoot to Kill.
They've just clearly been improving week to week, and I think after that game last week, they're definitely putting themselves in contention to be one of the, if not the, top team in North America.
Yep.
But they still have a set to close here. I mean, they still have
That's
plenty
true.
to go.
You're right.
These players have been in tough situations before on the side of Flashpoint.
You're right. Not as all done until there's a 3 on that scoreboard for yourself. But, I mean, you look purely at momentum, which is kind of this intangible feeling. I mean, maybe in-game, out-of-game emotions, whatever you're looking at, Shoot to Kill have that in spades. And it just seems like everything they've been picking has been working out for them. So I said drawing board after game 1 for Flashpoint. Now you've got to drop a new game plan here for game number 3.
It's going to have to look like a wall covered in Post-its, I think, by the time that Flashpoint figure out what they have to do against Shoot to Kill, because the Bands game 1 didn't work, neither did the Bands game 2. They have to find out who they want to target to really break down the Shoot to Kill playstyle. That's
a great point, Kresnik. They totally shifted their mindset, Flashpoint did, in those second round of bans. So, what's the mindset shift going to be? We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll jump into picks and bans so we can find out. It is time for game number 3 here in NA of Shoot to Kill versus Flashpoint. And if it continues the same as the first 2 games did, we could be looking at another 4-0. And I think an interesting point, Kresnik, RuBBu is going to get subbed out here for game number 3, Pan, a name a lot of people will be familiar with, pushing himself into the lineup here as one of those 5 to try to get something going for Flashpoint.
I'm gonna be surprised if Pan does come in to fill in that exact role on the off tank. Sorry about that, because I haven't seen him play that much in the past. It's been kind of it's a different thing for him. Maybe they want to do this just to pull out that triple DPS. It's definitely a possibility, but I'm not sure.
It's not a one-for-one swap.
For that role. Yeah, it's not.
Right?
It's just like Flashpoint, the other Flashpoint week 1.
That's right. Yeah, with the Throner subbing in for them. Bright Marsh is where we will head. Do not scratch your eyes. You are seeing this map selection screen properly. 4-0 for Shoot to Kill. 4-0 for Shoot to Kill. Flashpoint reeling here, and Bright Marsh is where they will select to go. Does that give you any sort of indication? Maybe triple DPS could be on the horizon here for these Flashpoint guys.
It's possible, but triple DPS on Bright Marsh used to be something that only Fnatic used to do back in the day, honestly. It was kind of a map that people think that you want the 2 tanks for, 1 in each lane. Still, maybe Flashpoint want to stick to their guns and are just hoping that Pan is going to be able to gel in enough to make up for the loss of RuBBu. And I know for a fact that Shoot to Kill are going to stick to their guns, because I think we've only seen Ghogert play tank once in...
Yes.
I don't even know. I've lost count at this point.
Well, those guns have been accurate, right? Shoot to Kill has not been missing often today. 4-0, 4-0. Bomb King, maybe for the first time this set, locked in for Flashpoint. That'll be likely in Random Noob's hands. I think that's a net win. Get Random Noob on one of his most comfortable gods, as well as taking Poison. He has been obnoxious on Shoot to Kill, I think. If you're Flashpoint, you are happy not only to get that for Random Noob, but taking that away from Poison.
Yeah, for sure, especially since Shoot to Kill ended up wanting that con afterwards. Now they have that kind of one-sided matchup, I would say, in the Bomb King's favor, but as long as Shoot to Kill play together, they can mitigate that one-sidedness a little bit. Having someone else to trade into that Bomb King will definitely help. And 2 supports locked in for Flashpoint. Furia, Ying, double global ultimate means that as soon as they both press E, they are willing and ready to go.
And I like the mindset shift here from Flashpoint. We were curious what the champion priority would be moving in to this game. And they found themselves that shift of a mindset. Furia, Ying, maybe that leans in to triple DPS, and it certainly does. They're taking a page out of Shoot to Kill's book here with the damaged Ying, Bomb King, and Buck.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised to see this from them, but Pain coming in for this, I think, kind of makes sense. They do still want a solo tank. They're not going to be one of the EU triple support double DPS that we've been kind of seeing.
Right.
They do still want that Terminus, and I think I like Terminus because he can still sustain himself a little bit. If the focus has to be damage, Terminus can buy a little bit of time wherever he's holding.
Well, it's Moji to round out the draft for Shoot to Kill. Not what I expected to say for the 10th overall pick. Do you like the Moji here? Do you think she works?
Yeah. I think so, and I would say if there's any place it's going to be 10th pick, but this is something that we've seen from Shoot to Kill before. This off-tank Moji just having the tanky flankers getting picked, especially on Bright Marsh, a flat map, very similar to Jaguar Falls in that aspect. This should be a place where Moji excels.
It is go time now if you're Flashpoint. Go time was maybe at the start of the set, the second best time here in game number 3. You've got to win 3 straight, something they certainly can do. Team Project did it to them last week. Now it's time to see if Shoot to Kill can really put their name in this region. People have questioned just where everyone belongs, and this has been nothing else but a massive statement from Shoot to Kill. Back-to-back 4-0s over Flashpoint. And again, they've paired themselves with this Jenos, Shoot to Kill. Put that on a Viktor, put that on a Cassie, put that on a Moji, even the Khan, and you're just making a good thing better.
Yeah, agreed, and they actually have the means to contest both lanes, I think, in the game. Depends on how well they can push out Payan on the Bomb King. But yes, I'm sus XD12159 is Payan, for those who don't know. We'll be referring to him as such because we're not saying that full name. Regardless, they try to peek an angle, and Viktor just has more damage down main.
We have picked up right where we left off, and it's a blowout for Shoot to Kill. Cool finds 3, finds 4, and they are off to the races. Flashpoint with nothing. Make it the clean 5. That's a sweep, not only for Shoot to Kill, but Cool rolls his way through the Flashpoint roster, and that could just be point number 1.
A total disconnect, too, because he just has a free angle down main. They're not used to playing this style. They want 2 tanks, and you can tell Payan was the most forward on the right side and just got completely overwhelmed.
That is nuts, and Shoot to Kill have got to be loving the way they've started off this game. Curious to see how they adapt to a new look at a Flashpoint draft, and adaptation not necessary for Shoot to Kill. You know, they play triple DPS every game. They're going to know how to play against it as well. The Ghogert rolling through, a triple kill now for them. Payload 2 minutes away. We're already halfway there.
God, I don't want to say that. It just sounds wrong. So the word Ghogert? I don't know.
That's perfect. Who said it?
It is his emote, but oh god, I just feel weird having that come out of my mouth. But they're still controlling this right side with the off-tank Moji. Terminus with a big burst. They need to be playing more on this Siphon and less kind of alone. Let him be the distraction, but for now, they keep running their DPS down and taking way too much damage.
And this is where we expect maybe this Flashpoint roster to succeed. You look at this Buck, namely, this is where the sustain is going to be at its highest, but they just have not found that Shoot to Kill. Like a bowling ball rolling through Flashpoint. Contest is on, but health bars are low. Payan does get 1 kill. He's able to pull back, and Cool is able to get out alive, has some Jenos healing to keep him in the fight. Poison's still in range, plugs some damage down, and gets rid of that Bomb King. Remember, the respawns are going to be much closer, but Ghogert, he's there in time to do plenty of damage. A double kill onto Invocal, and that is all she wrote. 2-0 up, go Shoot to Kill.
And the positioning there was way too hard for Flashpoint to deal with. Ghogert was literally right below their spawn. On Moji, that is close range damage that you do not have a way to deal with. It's so nice seeing Moji played well because there's so much little tech about her that I think you have to know to make her work with the bunny hopping. If you optimize the timings, on the left clicks, your DPS goes way up. So seeing Moji played for that sustain and for that burst damage is fantastic. And this lifesteal is so hard to burn her down. You look at a triple DPS composition, and most of the time you think, oh, there's really, they're going to be easier to kill. They're not going to be sustaining very much, not playing for their life. But they keep picking their third character as the most sustainy possible. And I think that's what really is letting their compositions work every time.
It has now been 10 straight points for Shoot to Kill, and they will look to make it 11 with a mid-fight here. A couple ultimates ready to go. Flashpoint have some themselves as well. Illusory Rift and Flame, King Bomb all rolling through. Through time and space, connects from ballersteve for some damage, but Payan gets some healing. It's only one kill that Flashpoint are able to net. Now a second, but a double kill traded out by Ghogert. He's found the angle. Suddenly it's Invocal and Vex in the backline that are looking a little bit more scared. Gogert's going to run them down, and Shoot to Kill have themselves right back in control.
I'm not sure if it was intentional, but they got a kill while they were pulling in from the overpower, so they actually are going to retain 30% of that ult charge. I think that's going to be impactful, given how good that ultimate is. Quick kill on Ghogert there, but look how much space he bought. Doe's going to have to touch this so late, and in the face of a Vortex Con.
That's a great eye there to notice the overpower. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there to use it. The Shoot to Kill lose their con. Still some trades back and forth here. Maybe a better look from Random Noob on this buck than what we saw through the first couple of points this game. Flashpoint in control, at least for the moment. Now Gogert's going to burn down Invocal in the backline. Random Noob no sustained there. Poison's found the angle, and he's got himself a double kill. Vortex Grip locks down doesupz. No more reanimate. Shoot to Kill. They move 1 point away from a 3-0 of 4-0s.
This looks like just a lack of comfort on this composition by Flashpoint. I mean, yes, Shoot to Kill are playing exceptionally well, but how does Ghogert get in there? Yes, Gogert's the first death, but where's the coverage? They're not used to not having an off tank. Watching that lane, he just walks in, pulls all that pressure off of Poison, onto himself, doesn't die, and gets away with murder on the point.
I don't know, man. This payload didn't stop last time, and I'm not sure it will this time either. Random Noob off to the side will grant himself some sustain, but chipped away as rKuhl plugs some good damage. Random Noob back in 5 seconds. Up to the high ground he will go and inflame, but that's only going to be on 3 members of Flashpoint here. Through time and space, good onto doesupz. Vex rather falls as well. 3 members now alive for Flashpoint. Overpower. Back off of cooldown, no good. Random Noob has found some damage onto rKuhl, but the payload's right there. Void Grip in, everyone falls. A 3-0 for Shoot to Kill. Unbelievable.
That is just clinical, honestly, from them. They had the answer to everything. We even saw that through time and space at the end. He waited exactly for the moment Doe used the Shatterfall, because he can't get away. If you use it right where he's going to land, there's no answer for him that lets them burn through the only tank immediately. Flashpoint just did not look ready for the Shoot to Kill playstyle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, especially after Brazil, we talked about Parallax losing, which was a huge surprise. Again, I expected this one to be close. I certainly thought that Shoot to Kill could contest in this set, even find themselves a win. But not only did they get the 3-0, but they win 12 straight points. Not a single point on the day for Flashpoint. And the slash lines maybe just tell it all. 1 kill for Doe, 1 kill for Vex, a couple for Random Noob. They just had no momentum in these games.
I will say, on Flashpoint, shoutouts to I'mSusXD12159, because I felt like he was the one finding all the kills, and I have no idea how much Payan's been playing the game recently, honestly, just subbing in here. Doing still decently well against a team that I say had an overwhelming advantage throughout all the maps.
And rKuhl at 70 to 80,000 damage there. Man rather amongst boys, where everyone else was kind of in the 30 to 40,000 range. So I don't know. I think that you look at a performance like this from Shoot to Kill, and that is just a key in for everyone else in this region to get ready, because this Shoot to Kill roster has just rolled through one of the teams that we figured would be the top team in this region in Flashpoint, who are now down at 4th at 1-2. Shoot to Kill now, of course, moving to 3-0-8. The plus-minus, though, is where my eyes go. They've only dropped a single map in their first 3 sets. I think that matchup against Team Project is going to be one to watch.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree, and it seems so weird seeing Flashpoint down in that 4th place position. But
right?
all the other teams have been performing. I mean, HP OfficeJet, 2-1, I think they've been a sleeper team too with how aggressive they play off of Quashi's pressure. But you're right, Shoot to Kill versus Team Project is going to be a matchup that I think is decided by how well these teams prepare for each other. Team Project, you have a lot of history on what they like to play. Shoot to Kill, they seem flexible. How far are you going to push them? How much are you going to get out of their champ pool with the bans that you do against them? I think you have to find a way to target them that'll actually make them uncomfortable, and I don't even know if it's there.
And you talked about preparation, and it's obviously the million-dollar question now, but if you're playing up against the Shoot to Kill lineup, they're going to go triple DPS in some capacity against you. How do you prepare against that? I mean, it's so hard. You talked about so much viability in the DPS champion pool, but is there a key to maybe beating these types of compositions?
Find a way to punish the tank on point. Have triple DPS, but also have a composition that out-sustains on the objective as well. If you can win off of objective time and not end up feeding your main tank, that could work, but that's so much pressure on your main tank. And how could you possibly have more practice on solo tank than Wadu?
That's true, and as a result, you see them at the top of North America there and in the standings as well. Here's your schedule for Phase 1, week number 3. We got to see Onslaught fall the D69 3-0, another 3-0, Carnage Gaming over RuBBu, and then Shoot to Kill, maybe the highlight of the day to round us out, a big 3-0, 12 straight points over Flashpoint. You know, I talked to Gore a little bit about it though, Chris. I still think I'm curious to see what exactly happened in that Parallax set.
Well, but we're going to find out in the coming days in the community broadcasts as we're going to be rewatching them. I think we'll at 3 or 2 o'clock on the coming days, so be sure to be tuned in for that. I'm going to be running production as much of it as a disaster, I'm sure that has been.
No, it's been great.
But games will be broadcast, and they will be casted by our team here.
That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Some of those matches that leave us scratching our heads, we will be broadcasting them over the next couple of days. So keep your eyes on our Twitters, Kresnik's Twitter, all of the above to get the full info. But that's what we've got for you for today. Week number 3 of the PPC comes to a close. So thanks everyone for watching on behalf of myself, Kresnik, everyone back in production. We'll see you next time.